Over the decades, Craftsman has offered a variety of attachments and accessories for their drill presses. This video is part 3 in a series of videos covering some of these accessories and attachments, and I encourage you to check out some of the other videos in this series. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff and welcome to my shop, and in this video we're going to be discussing the belt cover, so let's get to it. 1952 and 1953 were some interesting years for the Craftsman drill press line. This is a image from the 1953 catalog, and there are a couple of things to note here. First, both of these drill presses pictured here are 100 series drill presses, but notice that neither one of them have a headband. For a 2-year period, 1952 and 1953, Craftsman 15.5-inch drill presses did not ship with headbands. In the upper left-hand corner, you can see the advertisement for the new Jacobs Safety Lock Chuck. And this is the second year that it has been offered with the drill presses. And if you look closely, you can see that both of the bases, the floor base and the benchtop base for both drill presses, have Craftsman embossed on the side, which I've never actually seen one of those drill press bases with the Craftsman embossed on it. So I don't know if that was just artwork or it never happened in production. However, what we're here to discuss in this video is that drill press cover or belt cover. And this was designed by the King Seeley Corporation to fit on both the 100 series and later on the 150 series drill presses. And here's a close-up of that cover and the advertisement for it. And you can see that the model number is 9-2312 for that accessory. Once again, I've asked my good friend Paul from Garage Journal to do a quick video on this accessory. So without further ado, here's Paul.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm a friend of Jeff, and this is for Jeff's shop. This will be a short segment on the Craftsman drill press cover. Here you see it in the 1953 catalog for the first time, and Craftsman claims it will protect your spindle, pulleys, and belt, and improve the appearance of your drill press. I don't know about that. Ordering the drill press cover was somewhat unique. You did not pick it up at Sears. It was shipped via freight directly from the factory, in this case King Seeley. They were located at that time in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and that is how it would come straight to your house. The last mention I could find of it is the 1956 catalog, as you see here, which means it was only offered for a 3-year period. Here it is on the top of my workbench. That top piece is cast aluminum, and you'll find out why later. There's the front with the Heritage logo, and that would fit the entire width of the 100 and 150 head. Here you can see the cast vendor number 103, which means King Seeley on the flip side. Here is the hardware in disassembly, and note on the steel rod there are 2 grooves, with the one towards the bottom being significantly deeper. The cast iron piece, the one that is the Craftsman gray blue, this is essentially looking at it from the top down as it would be mounted. Here it is assembled. The top of the drill press cover is held in place with those 2 nuts on top. And again, note that groove towards the bottom of the steel rod. Here is the back side of that cast iron piece. You can clearly see the King Seeley 103 number. Those 4 arms sticking out, those will act as a clamp. Now this is a ball detent. There's a ball bearing on the other side of that spring, and it's all held in place with that set screw. Here it is mounted on the column support that is between the sides of the head frame, and you can see how the forearms protrude above and below that column support, and then set screws clamp it onto that column support. And here it is mounted on the drill press. I'm sure everybody's got their own opinion. I just don't know if it improves the appearance. I do like that open head design. Here is the front view. And that Craftsman Heritage logo is bigger than the one on the drill press, which is really cool. So there's a hole cast onto that drill press cover so that it will clear the column depending on how high or low you want to mount it. A view from the back just so we have all angles covered. And here is the part we've all been waiting for. What is all that hardware for? I'm sure most of you savvy mechanical dudes figured out that ball detent allows it to snap in place just like you see it to facilitate belt changes. And it stays up there. It's not going anywhere. Here you can see the hardware in action. The groove on that steel rod being held by the ball detent at this point. And another view here. And you can rotate from this position the top cover clockwise or counterclockwise if you really needed to get your arms in there. And here is yet another view of it in the elevated position. I hope this presentation was informative, and as always, if you have tons and tons of questions, pepper Jeff with them and keep them coming. Never let up on the questions for Jeff.
Once again, thank you, Paul. I really appreciate the support, buddy. And thanks for doing these videos for me. So the image that you're looking at right now is actually from another Garage Journal friend, my good friend FrankLee. And he picked up this monstrosity of a cover some time ago. And it wouldn't be so bad if all they did was repaint it, because a lot of that yellow paint is going to come off of there. But as you can see, they cut into the side of it. And you might be wondering, well, why would they do that? Well, that's because it was on this as a belt cover. I mean, who does that? Who takes a expensive belt cover made for drill presses and puts it on a bandsaw? Anyways, once Frank got a hold of this thing, he knew he had to fix it, so he fabricated a part that would insert and then had it welded a little. And once that was done, he's going to fill it in. And I think it got sanded and ground and then filled in with some Bondo, and then sanded some more and refilled in, and eventually he was able to repaint it. That's it primed, and you can't even really tell it had been cut out. And it still functioned perfectly fine. And then he got a pretty close to factory match color paint. And in the end, this thing looked pretty good. So he was able to get that taken care of. And this is another belt cover that FrankLee managed to get, and he cleaned it up. Luckily, that one was not chopped up in any way, and it had all of its parts. So he was able to get that sucker working in I think he eventually sold it, but yeah, so they're not super uncommon, but they are fairly uncommon. You know, a lot of times when you see one of these classic drill presses with a belt cover, it's usually something that somebody fabricated themselves. But just a few more pictures of that. And that'll wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned something from it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.